Hello, welcome to Sambookery. In this video, I wanted to do a flip through of my most recent batch of journals with a raven theme. Did 4 journals in this series, so we'll do flip through. They're all very similar, but I mean, each one is unique and slightly different. So I will move these out of the way and we'll start with one, and then I will quickly show you the other 3. So for the cover, I started with these gorgeous digitals from Digital Curio, kind of in golds and lavenders, blacks and deep blues. And those are printed with my Epson printer, which is a pigment ink. So it's archival, it's waterproof, it can last up to 100 years. So I feel safe putting paper on the journal when I print it on that printer. I've added lots of fun, like floral embellishments, lace, this purple fabric I hand dyed. The base of the covers, they're fabric. The outside is a black and purple corduroy, and the inside is just a black corduroy. So it's a very sturdy fabric. The binding, there are 4 signatures, and I did X binding to put them in, and I did put a clip on the edge that's removable. It's like a binder clip with lots of fun beads and dangles and little charms. Each one's unique on the journals, but they all have similar elements. And then the closure for the journal is this velvet ribbon with frayed edges. I just tied it in like a knot, but it's long enough if you want to tie a little bow, you can. So on the inside, I always put a pocket inside my front cover. You never know, you might want to put some things in there. So this one, this is commercial fabric that I over dyed. And inside this pocket's just a little library card with like a tuck spot, the little journaling card. And then I used a lot of digitals from Ink and Page. I may have used some other ones too. So I'll list the shops where I got my digitals in the description if you guys want to go visit them. So with this page, it's like a woodland scene. I collaged on some thin tissue paper and then these like fabric embellishments and then paper flowers. There's the back side. This is like parchment paper that I coffee dyed, and it kind of got a spotted effect on it. Plus it's, love that sound. This is copy paper that I dyed with like a bluish, purplish black color. Here's some notebook paper. This was avocado dyed, I believe. And then this paper I printed out with my pigment printer so the ink wouldn't run. And then this is coffee dyed. This is some more of that like dark black dyed paper. This is a coffee filter that has been coffee dyed. It's another of those printed papers that's coffee dyed. Some more of that dyed, hand dyed paper. Here's another digital. This one's got some lines on it, perfect for journaling. The back side's just got like some printed lace. Here is a little tuck spot, and I just put in some solid colored cards and a little label. And the back's been coffee dyed. This is commercial paper that's supposed to look kind of grungy and vintage, and I've added some lace to the edge. Here's a little pocket. I've just added a scrap of paper that I dyed and a little stamped feather. My daughter carved these stamps for me, and this is on watercolor paper. That's been, actually, this was actually dyed with cabbage, this purple color. Here's another digital. And this is a fun little addition into the center of this signature. So we've got little journaling card with a stamp on it. This is a wax seal I've glued down. And here we've got like a library pocket. I dyed with the black dye a library card, and then there's a little raven and a little tag in here. And this Nevermore is a tuck spot as well for a little tag. And then over here I've got some vellum that's been coffee dyed, so it's nice and wrinkly, and then I stamped on it. And in here, we've got a laced edge tuck spot, and I just put a couple of journaling cards for you. This belly band holds another little journaling card. And then it's also a pocket, and in there, if you pull this out, is a tiny envelope with some paper inside. And on the back side is a poem, I believe it's by Byron. And we've got a tuck spot here for a tag, a tuck spot here for a little journaling card, and then it's also a pocket at the top with this raven tag that I've stitched around the edge and added some different yarns for the tag topper. On the back side, we've got another little library pocket, put some more ephemera in here, just white on the back so you can write on it. And the spider's a little tuck spot. And there's label there. Laced edged. Ooh, this is a really pretty raven here. I love that one. Few plain pages. There's a label so you can make a list or something. This is scrapbook paper that I coffee dyed the back of. And then this is just a little tuck spot with the journaling paper. And then these fold out. And that is the first signature. Here's the second signature. And I left a lot of space between the signatures because I didn't want this to have an alligator mouth. When it was closed, I wanted it to be even. I didn't want, you know, the spine to be so tight that it was sticking out like this. I want it to be even. So there is a lot of room for you to tuck things in here or to add to the journal, and it still won't be too fat. Let me check the camera. Yeah, we're still. So this is just a coffee dyed paper. I added a little tab to. Here I paper clipped on a decorative paper with gold foiling and another blank writing sheet. This is a little flip out with washi tape, and I did glue on the washi tape so it will be permanent. A small piece of the dyed paper, some pretty lavender roses here. So the journal is all blacks, mostly lavenders and purples with a little bit of blue because there's a little bit of blue in their feathers on these digitals. Here I've added a butterfly sticker. This is an embossed coffee filter. It's a little hard to see, but you can definitely feel it. This is just some paper I had, I think from a magazine that I coffee dyed. I added a little washi sticker here at the bottom of this paper. This is a pocket, and so I've put in this double tag here. And let's see, we've got the purple paper on the back with a couple of feather dangles on here. And then this top pocket holds another little journaling card. This one's blank. So to keep that there, and there's like a coffee dyed doily. The back side's blank. Added some different lace trim here. Center of the second signature, we've got a tuck spot here. This just reminds me of Monopoly money, but it's just a little ephemera paper that you can write on the back of. Get that back in there. A label. This on the strings of my signature, I glued little paper hearts just to finish the edges off and to make it look cute. This rook is also a pocket, and then this is a tuck spot here. The journaling card with a little tab on it. And this is the thicker scrapbook paper that I did coffee dye, and it's got the gold foiling on it. If you guys can see that, let's check. Yeah, there you go. They're digital with a pretty raven. And then this is a pocket, and in here I've got a couple of these square papers you can use for journaling, and then this raven tag. And I've just attached some silk leaves to the top as a topper to the tag. And there's a label here if you want to write something. This little typewriter is like a tuck spot. These cute little darling ephemera pieces that I thought were adorable, and kind of the colors went with the journal. This is a pocket, and there's a blank piece of paper, and then this little list, you can memo list, you can write things on. It's the back side, and here's, I don't know if you guys can see this. Let's see. You can kind of see the embossing. It's kind of a leaf, vine and leaf emboss. And here is the back of the digital. This is some more of that commercial paper that's printed to look like old paper, but it's nice and smooth because I wanted you guys to have some like really smooth surfaces to write or to draw on or to add things to that looked aged but weren't super wrinkly like some of the hand-dyed paper can be. Here is a little belly band. It's a little journaling card tucked in. I love, like, all these papers came out different. I dyed them all at the same time, but it's so fun to see how different the papers turned out, even one side to the next. More coffee dyed paper. It's another digital with a really cute raven with some gold. I love this one too. It's kind of like a black ink drawing, purpley black ink drawing of a raven. And this is the center, and this is where I clip on the dangle. It can be a bit heavy. I did get a little carried away adding beads, so it can easily be taken off, but having this arm down on the inside gives it stability so that it doesn't pull the fabric down. And I made just a fabric ruffle out of some black cotton fabric to add to this page. We've got a paper clip here with a little leaf dangle that is holding a couple things under this belly band. So this is that cabbage dyed paper, and I dyed it on a metallic pan, and for some reason, I mean, the metal didn't come off because it wasn't even a silver pan, and I don't know if I can get you to see this, but it has the effect of like silver graphite on the paper, and I thought that was really interesting. It's kind of not showing up on the camera, but you can see it in person. We've got a raven journaling card here, and this is a piece of watercolor paper that I had just done some watercolor studies on, and the colors matched this journal, so I included it. This is a piece of notebook paper that I hand painted, and you know, it was in my stash, and it just happened to go with the colors in this journal, so I included it. That is a coffee filter, some more of that hand-dyed black paper, coffee dyed paper, and I just attached this as a kind of tab. Here's another digital. I love this one too, with like the outline of an old castle and the birds kind of in shadow at the top. All right, this is interesting. This was a notebook cover from the Dollar Tree as a plastic kind of folder, and I thought it'd be perfect for this journal. I only grabbed 3 of them, so one of the journals has something different, and I will show you guys when I go through, so in case you do or do not want this. But I have hinged this in on a card, and inside here I've got these 3 journaling cards. Is it 3? 4. 4 large journaling cards for you. But it's a huge envelope. You could store all kinds of things in there. It just has a little snap closure. And that's the back. I used glue down washi tape. This is a really pretty, like, metallic-y design, just to make sure it's stable. Here's a little pocket with this cute little metallic butterfly card. It's also embossed, so the butterflies are raised. This has been embossed as well. Here we've got a tuck spot behind this feather for a little journaling card and a label. And then this is a pocket, and inside I've just put this nice glossy postcard with some really gorgeous florals. Let's see if we can get that back in. This avocado dyed, I think. It's kind of pinkish. Here's a butterfly sticker on some of that kind of black dyed paper. I just put a label at the bottom here that's in this green that kind of goes with this scrapbook paper. It's kind of a deep forest green with the metallic gold. And we've got a feather here over a tuck spot, and I've just put a few pieces of paper in here that you can write on. And this is the center of the 3rd signature, and it's got hearts on the ends of the signature strings as well. There's a label, and then this raven is a tuck spot. I just put in some extra things I had. This label, a little square card, and this wings tag that you might want to use somewhere in the journal. This is a washi tape butterfly on this fold out This is an Ansel Adams postcard. I've had this postcard book for most of my life, and I was like, I need to use it. So I pulled out some of the black and white prints that I thought went with these journals and included them in here. This I have stitched on to the envelope. And then on the back, we have scrapbook paper, and we have, ooh, can I get it? It's a tuck spot. And I just put in this coffee dyed little index card in lavender, the little stamping on it. This, I've just did some stitching on some of the paper scraps that were left over. This one is vellum, and then glued them down to the page. This is the other side of that black envelope signature. And so on this side, I added a glassine envelope and put in some extra stickers for you guys, similar to the ones I was using throughout the book. There's washi stickers, and then there's solid stickers. So, and this is just washi tape. It'll easily lift up. And then you can store whatever you want in here after you use the stickers. Some more coffee dyed paper, digital, painted paper. This one has some really neat, I have one of the pans I use has these ridges on it. I guess, I'm sure it has a cooking reason, but I thought, well, that'll leave neat marks on the paper, and it does. So there's a lot of horizontal lines here, or sorry, vertical lines here from just doing the coffee dyeing. Here's the digital. We're on to the last signature. So we've got this page. It's got some cute mushrooms and different pinks and purples. All right, here is a couple pockets. In the back pocket, I've got, this is stamped with part of the poem of The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe, just very lightly. I didn't want you to read the whole thing, just the image slightly. That's a journaling card. It's been coffee dyed. And then here's a tag with a little metal grommet and a tassel for a top with a raven. What exactly is the difference between a crow and a raven? I grabbed one of my bird books to find out. It looks like the common raven is much larger than a crow, with a heavier bill, longer wedge-shaped tail, and shaggy-looking pointed throat feathers. So if you look at the bill on the left, the common raven is much larger than the American crow's bill on the top right, and that gives you a quick way to distinguish the birds. Now back to the flip through. Here's in this pocket with a label and a little paper flower. The back side, because, you know, mortal enemy of birds are cats, and I had this gorgeous cat digital in pretty colors that kind of went with the journal. So I put one cat in each journal, and it's a tuck spot for a little journaling card with some lace on it. And then this is a tuck spot of that cabbage dyed paper, and I've got this raven card with lines on the back for journaling, and a little folded piece of coffee dyed notebook paper that's been embossed with hearts. Not sure if you guys can see that or not. And then this is commercial paper meant to look aged that I ran through the embosser, so it's got kind of a floral embossed pattern on it. And here's an envelope, and inside here I put a couple more of the journaling cards, one with the grid back, one with a lined back, of the Raven digitals that are similar, and sometimes they may be exact, but I think I picked a few different ones to the cover pictures. But that way, even if you like several of them, get the cover you like, but there's more of these images in here, and you can journal on them or use them throughout your journal to decorate it. Coffee filter. This is just a little ephemera piece. It's got gold foiling on it. Some more mushrooms. This is more just scraps that I sewed on and then glued down. Here's another spot for this guy. Another tuck spot, journaling card. This is laced edge with some black lace. There's a big pocket, and I put a larger Raven journaling card in here. And this is an index card that's been embossed with just like a dot pattern. So you probably can't write on the front, but the back is smooth with the little divots. So, but I just thought that would add some fun texture to the journal. It's another envelope, and in here we have a couple more journaling cards. the ravens on them. This says Black as Night, and it's a belly band. And in here I did some of my coffee dyed paper that were a bit thicker and stamped raven on there. And then I did learn not to buy pans that have embossed labels in them. This is Black & Decker, and that's who made my pan. And in the center of the pan is their stamped branding. And if you put paper over it, sure enough, that shows up on your paper. So I've stopped using that pan from now on. But I thought it was kind of hilarious. As Black & Decker, I didn't even realize was known for doing cookware. In the back of this, we have lots of pockets. Let's see, the back pocket, we've got a little postcard. And we've got a tag. And then we've got this tiny feather and this tiny card. And then down here, we've got two of these little square cards that are printed with purple on the back. And then here is the last page. And on here, I've added this like faux leather trim that's got grommets and studs. And through one of the grommets, I added a ball chain with a little key hanging off the edge. So when the journal's closed, it kind of hangs out from the side. And then here is the back. This is the inside is this black corduroy fabric that's so soft. Okay, and that is the first journal. Let me get the other ones and I'll quickly show you them so you can see what is a little bit different on each of those. Okay, this is journal number 2. Here is a kind of close-up of the cover and the tassel with all the charms. There's little feather charms, key charms, and lots of beads. Here is the inside pocket. And I don't know if I mentioned, this inside pocket was a leftover quilt square from a quilt I had made, and I over-dyed the fabric with some purple dye. So a lot of the pages are going to be the same in here. I'm just going to point out things that may be different from the first journal we flipped through. Of course, all the hand-dyed papers are unique and individual. They'll be in here, but they will look different from journal to journal. So this feather on the little card there, I made a couple different kinds. Some are on the purple dyed fabric paper and some are on coffee dyed paper. And then there's 2 different feather stamps I used. And then this is the same bird on top of a stack of books, but it's on a different piece of paper. It's just another thicker paper, rather than the vellum from the first one. All of those are exactly the same. And then the different papers in here are different colors from the first journal, but same size, same texture. This tuck spot they're all from the same scrapbook paper, but from different pieces of it, so there's different text and imagery on each one from journal to journal. But I did use the same digitals throughout, so you all get the same digitals as the signature cover pages and the ones that are inserted inside. That flip out's a different piece of paper. The butterfly sticker is different from the first journal. So is that flower probably. I had 1 or 2 of the ephemera pieces, and so some journals may have the same, but if they don't have the same, they'll have something very similar. Now this journal has a different fold out in it than the first journal. It's got a piece of coffee dyed notebook paper, a little paper clip, and some iridescent feathers on it. And then in here we've got a tag and a little coin envelope. And inside the coin envelope are some little images of vintage ravens. And then the envelope is closed with a little black paper clip with a silver key on it. And then there's a larger tag with a raven and some yarn on top that's been stitched around and a little label in the little tuck spot there. And then this tuck spot, the other one was a typewriter. This one's a hand holding a quill, and it's got a few different pieces of ephemera in it, but all from the same collection, so similar colors and theme. And then these papers are slightly different. The magazine pages with the black and white floral images on them are different from journal to journal because they were each just single pages, but they're all very similar. That's a little bit different. Same lace edging, same fabric edging. Those are the same from the same piece of watercolor paper that I cut up. This journal does have the plastic envelope with the snap closure on it. This butterfly card, that's the same as the first one. This is a different postcard with the gorgeous vintage floral on it. They're all like dark, kind of vibrant florals, but they are all different. This is a different Ansel Adams postcard. This is a waterfall on this one. Everyone has a different one. I only had one of each of his photographs as postcards. So I just picked different like nature themes where you may find a raven. Then in this signature, that trim with the grommets is on the first page of the signature instead of the last. Those pockets all have the same ephemera, same kitty cat. And then in this folder, all of the journals have the same journaling cards with those ravens on them. I wanted everyone to make sure they got the same exact set of those because they're just so gorgeous. This is similar. That paper with the number tab is a different shade of blue, but very close. The envelope paper is slightly different, but what's inside it is the same. That little piece of ephemera is different. These should be same throughout. And then I backed one with line paper and one with grid paper, but they're just so pretty. You might even want to just glue them down to the page as a pocket or something so you can see them more. Yeah, that's the same. Everything in that envelope is the same. And that is the end of the second journal. Now we will take a look at journal number 3. So here is the cover. This one doesn't have any gold gems on it. I put black gems on this one because it did have gold in that top trim that I stitched on. And then there's the tassel. And here's another one of those quilt square pockets. We've got an extra kitty cat. So this journal, the ravens are threatened by 2 different kitty cats in this one. That's a different ephemera on that avocado dyed paper. And in this pocket, you know, different but similar piece of scrap paper. I just had extra papers that got very wrinkled and damaged in the dyeing process when I was dyeing everything with the black. So I wanted to include them somewhere. This is a different paper that the stamp is on. It's more of, it's got fibers in it. It's a little bit thicker than the other ones. The color of those papers is slightly different. I like that really deep purpley plum color. It's pretty. So I did try to keep the journals in that color range. It reminded me of the feathers from the raven. All right, and that's the first signature. Here's the second. So those papers clipped in are different. That fold out is different. And then the butterfly looks similar. That rose paper is different. That washi sticker, it may be slightly different, but that's all exactly the same. And then this is in a different order than the previous journal, but it's the same ephemera. So here's our little envelope with the little vintage raven cards. They're almost like stamp sized. They're really cute. The keys are different. I didn't use the same keys and feather charms in each one, but they are all keys or feather charms. That pocket has got a tag in it instead of the 2 pieces of folded square paper as in the original journal. That tuck spot's got slightly different ephemera. They're so cute, and they have like gold foiling on them. Super adorable. And this pocket's got some different pieces of paper in it, but all from the same collection. There's a nice journaling card. It's just lined so you can make a list. There's the little feather charm. Now this journal number 3, does not have that plastic snap envelope. So I gave it 2 glassine bags, and I put some ephemera in there. Extra little labels and fancy papers. And I didn't even tape the bag closed because I want you to have the option to put something like the full size of the bag in there if you wanted to put photos or journaling cards or something. So I left it open. Here is the postcard for this one. It's really gorgeous, dark background, floral. This, exactly the same. That's a different washi sticker, and then this is a different Ansel Adams postcard. And then here's that second glassine bag. And then this one's got some fancy paper and some cute tiny ephemera for you to add into the journal where you'd like. So if you do not want the black plastic snap closure envelope in yours, pick journal 3. If you love it, then pick one of the other journals. I think it's both of them are fun to have. It's fun to have like a special envelope to keep things in. When you're working in a journal, if you find things you want to add or you're just cutting out ephemera and you don't know where you want to put it yet, it's nice to have lots of options for envelopes and little pockets to keep that stuff in with the journal. Cute little butterfly ephemera there on the fold out. That's the same, slightly different colored paper, but same. That pocket's different paper. And then this envelope's got the same journaling cards. We are almost to the end. Okay, that was journal 3. And the last journal, journal 4, here's the cover. It's also got the black kind of rhinestones on the cover instead of the gold. It's got a black and silver embroidery flower on it, and there's the dangle. This front pocket is like a fiber collage I made, and it was a scrap that was left over, but I didn't like the color, so I threw it in when I was doing the purple dye, and it came out this kind of burgundy and purple, and it was a good size for a pocket. So that is unique to journal 4, and I've added that one on there. And everything in this is similar. This one's on vellum again, just like in journal 1. And the library card is dyed with black dye on this one. And a few of them are coffee dyed. But other than that, exactly the same. Different colored papers there in the little tuck spot. Different papers there. That's a different ephemera on the flip out. This one's got that nice crinkly parchment paper in it. Different papers clipped on there, different paper on this fold out here. And then there's another butterfly sticker, but slightly different. That page is different than in the previous, but still black and white that I've went ahead and coffee dyed to age it a bit. That's all similar. There's a typewriter again like we had in the first journal with a couple cute pieces of mini ephemera. And then this folder, this pocket, it's got some papers, so similar to journal 3, but different from the first journal we looked at. Beautiful little green paper with the handwriting on it in that tuck spot. It's blank on the back, so you can journal on it. Hand-painted paper. They'll all be slightly different, but I did paint them all at the same time, so similar paint colors. Here's that plastic envelope with the journaling cards in it. This butterfly card's slightly different, but still gold foiled and embossed. And here's the floral postcard in this one. So pretty. That is from one of my daughter's old notebooks. I was dyeing all the papers, and I didn't realize that was still on there, so I left it. It was cute. I think she had a club. There is another Ansel Adams postcard. And then there's a pocket filled with stickers. And this one's got the little chain with the key still. That pocket is the same. There's the kitty cat. We've got the Raven journaling cards in here. And that envelope is huge. There's lots of room to add more things in there. Butterfly, that was used on one of the other journals. And there's a different magazine page there with a rose on it. These are all similar. That may be different paper for that pocket. It looks very similar to the last journal though. The paper, that's that paper with the fibers in it. That's been stamped on for that one. All right, and that is journal number 4. Thank you so much for watching this video. I love making these Raven journals, and I hope they can find good new homes. If you're interested in purchasing one, I'll put a link to my Etsy shop in the description. And again, I will link or list any of the digitals I used in case you make journals and want to get similar digitals. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.